So today we're getting into a deep dive on a topic that, let's be honest, requires a lot of vulnerability. We're talking about marriage.
We are. And our sources today argue something really powerful, that to have a truly profound love, you need to do some profoundly difficult work. And that work is, well, it's humility.
Exactly. The source points out that marriage, because it's so close, it shines this huge spotlight on our best parts, but also on our brokenness. Our pride, our fear.
Our impatience, for sure.
Yeah, all of it. And the foundation for this whole discussion comes from a passage in Ephesians, which says, always be humble and gentle, be patient with each other, making allowance for each other's faults because of your love.
And that phrase right there, making allowance, that's where so much of the heavy lifting really begins, isn't it?
It is. So how do we actually do that?
Well, one of the best, most practical insights comes from the researcher Shanti Felton. She studies highly happy couples, and she found they all operate from this one core belief. They deeply, truly believe my spouse is for me, not against me.
Right.
They consistently give the benefit of the doubt. They assume the best.
Wow. I mean, that's a fundamental shift in perspective right there. So how does that change the way a couple actually handles conflict when things get heated?
It forces you to identify the real enemy. There's this fantastic quote we pulled from a Dr. Louis Pretorius, and he says, your spouse is not the enemy. The enemy is your enemy.
Hmm.
So when you internalize that, humility is really the only way forward. Pride is yelling, I'm right, you're wrong.
Right.
But humility just steps back and asks a different question. It asks, okay, what is happening in us and how can we walk through it together?
Which brings us to the effort part. The
Mhm.
source talks about making every effort and that
Yeah.
it's intentional, it's persistent, it's every single day.
Yes,
And
that intentionality is so key. Felton actually said that happy couples boss their feelings around. They choose a wise action instead of just having an emotional reaction.
But that leads to something really surprising in the research, because I think a lot of us grew up hearing that one rule.
Oh, yeah. Never go to bed angry.
Exactly. But the research here found that's not always the best advice. Why would going to bed mad sometimes be the better choice?
Because humility, it recognizes our human limitations. Trying to solve a deep, complex issue at 1 in the morning when you're both exhausted,
It never goes well.
it's a recipe for disaster. You say things you regret. So pausing is actually protecting the relationship. It's saying, we need clarity right now, not more exhaustion.
But the crucial piece, and the source calls it the bridge of love,
Mhm.
is what you do in that pause. It's not just angry silence.
No.
It's a small thing, a touch, a quiet word that just says, hey, we're not okay yet, but we will be. I am still with you. It keeps that connection alive.
And that intentionality, it also extends outward beyond just the two of you. The source brings up Galatians 6.2, which is about sharing each other's burdens.
Which is something pride tells us not to do, right?
Yeah.
We think we have to handle everything on our own. Asking for help feels like failure.
Exactly. But the article reframes that completely. It says seeking help from mentors or counselors or whoever is actually the ultimate sign of humility and commitment. It means you value the health of your marriage more than your own ego.
That's a great way to put it.
It is. And even on a smaller scale, if you're the kind of person who needs to pull away to think things through,
The processors.
right? The author notes you have to communicate that. You have to say, I love you, I need some time to think, but we are okay and we will sort this out. That builds trust instead of fear.
So when you bring it all together, the big takeaway seems to be that a marriage isn't held together by perfection.
Not at all. It's held together by grace, by that persistent daily choice to make an effort.
It's challenging work, no doubt. But it's what builds that connection rooted in choosing humility over ego. So for you listening, we want to leave you with the reflective question the author poses at the end.
It's a powerful one.
It is. What step of humility, reconciliation, or help-seeking is God inviting me to take toward my spouse?